On episode 372 of Nintendo SwitchCraft, more Joy-Con drift news, Mario Maker get an update, Super Mega Baseball 2, and more on this episode of Nintendo SwitchCraft. Stick around.
Hi, this is Joshua from New Brockton, Alabama, and you're listening to Nintendo SwitchCraft.
SwitchCraft is brought to you live every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday. Tune in live over at twitch.tv/runjumpstomp. This episode of SwitchCraft is made possible by patrons like Charles K. Get SwitchCraft and my other content ad-free for as little as $1 by joining us over at patreon.com/runjumpstomp. If you want to leave a voicemail like the one you heard at the top of the show, head on over to runjumpstomp.com/voicemail from any device, and I may even play it on the show. Quick housekeeping stuff. I'm going to keep bringing this up because it is very, very important. You can nominate Nintendo SwitchCraft for a podcast award by heading on over to to podcastawards.com. That is podcastawards.com, and you can sign up to nominate Nintendo SwitchCraft. We got nominated last year, and it would be amazing if we got nominated this year as well. And the way it works is the top 10 podcasts that get the most nominations, those are the ones that are considered for a reward or an award. Vacation, I'm going out of town starting on Sunday, so that means next week there definitely won't be any live shows, there definitely won't be any YouTube videos. There may still be podcasts in your feed because I can record those from my phone easily. Tune in and maybe we'll have some stuff for you. Tonight I'm recording an episode of Breaking the Panel. We're going to be talking about all of the stuff that has to do with Comic-Con. So if that is your jam, make sure you check those guys out. All right, let's talk about Nintendo stuff. In fact, I feel like I've been talking about nothing but this for a very, very long time, and that is the Joy-Con drift. And I've been talking about it for many episodes because I was experiencing it. I tried to fix it myself. That didn't go very well. A listener reached out and said, hey, I can fix it for you. I sent it to them. They fixed it, which is awesome. But really, that shouldn't be something that should have to happen. Nintendo should take care of this for you. And up until recently, well, Nintendo has been silent on it. So let's start with Nintendo finally responded to Kotaku. There was a big article on Kotaku talking about, the fact that we are experiencing this Joy-Con drift stuff, and people are very, very irritated by this, and we're getting lots of reports of this. So Nintendo, you got to respond, and Nintendo was radio silence for a while, but they have finally gotten back to Kotaku. This is their response, and I want to put their response in quotes because it's not much of a response. They said, at Nintendo, we take great pride in creating quality products, and we are continuously making improvements to them. We are aware of recent reports that some Joy-Con controllers are not responding correctly. We want our consumers to have fun with the Nintendo Switch, and if anything falls short of this goal, we always encourage them to visit support.nintendo.com so we can help. So, did they respond? Technically, they responded, but they didn't really tell us anything. Basically, they're saying, hey, if there's a problem with your Joy-Con, let us know. Okay, that's great. Now, there's going to be people who see this response and they're going to say, oh my God, that's a non-response. And because it's a non-response, we got to get out our pitchforks. We got to get our torches. We got to storm the castle and scream at people. No, you don't. Nintendo is a publicly traded company. They have to respond this way. They have to respond in a very subdued manner. Anything that especially now that there's that class action lawsuit out there, they're not going to admit fault. And anybody who expects them to admit fault is probably a little, I don't know, myopic or you're short-sighted if you think that they're going to say, yeah, we screwed up. Should they? Yeah. But with a class action lawsuit out there, if they did, they'd automatically lose that lawsuit. So there's no way that they're going to say, yep, that's totally our fault. We did a bad job designing it. So what should they do? Well, they should just fix them for free. And the reason why I'm talking about it today, because I wasn't going to focus. I wasn't going to report on this response from Nintendo because it's not really a response. But then yesterday, it was Vice.com leaked an internal memo from Nintendo. And this instructs customer service to fix Joy-Con drift problems for free. This was given to Vice under the condition of anonymity, so we have no idea if this is true or not. However, various outlets have contacted Nintendo and said, hey, I've got Joy-Con drift. What can we do about it? Nintendo walked them through the steps on what you should do to fix it, like updating the firmware on your on your Joy-Cons and making sure that you're running the latest software and making sure that it's all connected and docked right. And then if that didn't work, then they said, okay, we will fix them for free. So it seems like this internal memo that has been leaked is true, but we certainly don't have any confirmation from it directly from Nintendo, and I don't think that we ever will. So here's what the internal memo says. Again, this is from Vice.com. It says, customers will no longer be requested to provide proof of purchase for Joy-Con repairs, the internal customer service details say. Additionally, it is not necessary to confirm warranty status if a customer requests a refund for a previously paid Joy-Con repair, confirm the prior repair, and then issue a refund. So what is this telling us? Okay, this is some pretty huge stuff. First off, no matter how old your Switch is, no matter how old your Joy-Cons are, if they are experiencing drift, if this memo is to be true, if they are experiencing drift, Nintendo will fix them for free. Doesn't matter if they're under warranty, doesn't matter when you bought them, they will fix them for free. If you already shelled out money, like you already sent in your Joy-Cons to have them fixed by Nintendo, you can call Nintendo and say, I want my money back, and they will issue that refund after they verify that you actually paid them for having the Joy-Cons fixed. So I think that this is pretty huge for Nintendo to do this. Is this admitting fault? No. This is saying if there's a problem, we'll fix it. But it's not admitting fault, and you can't expect Nintendo to admit fault when there's this class action lawsuit on the line. And by the way, for everybody who's like really excited about the class action lawsuit, keep in mind what you would end up getting. Let's say that this lawsuit succeeds and Nintendo loses. You with me? What would we get? Well, we probably would all get like $10 worth of eShop money or some nonsense like that, or a check for $10 or something like that, and the lawyers would make giant piles of money. So I don't know what people are hoping for from this Joy-Con thing, or from the Joy-Con lawsuit, but for me, what I am hoping is that this lawsuit, this class action lawsuit, is the thing that spurred Nintendo into action. Because look, I will praise Nintendo when they do something awesome. I will deride them when they drop the ball. And as far as the Joy-Cons have gone, they've kind of been dropping the ball lately. And I'm happy that there is something to spur them into action, because Nintendo is a company just like any other company. They don't do things because it's the, puppy dogs and rainbows. They don't do things to better humanity. They do things because it makes them money. That's what being a company is all about. And they're a publicly traded company. So if they don't do things to make money, then their shareholders can sue them. So it makes perfect sense why Nintendo would behave the way that they do. Do I agree with it? No. It would be wonderful if Nintendo said, oh man, we screwed up. Let's fix it. These are the steps that we're going to use to fix it. But instead, they're going to be quiet. They're not issuing a recall. That would be a disaster for Nintendo to have to issue a recall. This is a much better solution for Nintendo. And if you want Nintendo to keep making stuff, then you want Nintendo to have a good solution for Nintendo. Doing a full-on recall would cost them buckets of cash. And that's cash that they can't use for research and development. That's cash they can't use to acquire video game studios. That's cash they can't invest into making awesome games. Should they fix this problem? Absolutely. Should future Joy-Cons be designed in a way to stop this from happening? I believe so. Do I think that with the Nintendo Switch Lite that they will have this solved? God, I hope so. But I also want to point out that it's not just Nintendo who suffers from this problem. My son has a PS4. His PS4 has a drift issue with multiple PS4 controllers that we have purchased for him. In fact, he's on his third controller. The first two, like the original controller, had the drift issue. I bought 2 controllers for him for Christmas, and then one of them developed the drift issue, and now his third one is developing the drift issue as well. And, you know, I don't see anybody jumping up and down telling Sony that they need to fix this. I'm not sure why Nintendo is held to a different standard than all these other gaming companies, but I don't know. Nintendo's not perfect, and I don't expect them to be perfect, but I do think that this is good, that this internal memo, if this internal memo is to be believed, I think that this is great news. Call up Nintendo, get your refunds if you've already done it. If you're experiencing Joy-Con drift, call up Nintendo, get your Joy-Cons repaired for free. And then if it happens again, call them up again and complain. And the more that happens, the more likely it is that we're going to get, the Joy-Con issues fixed in the future. So, fingers crossed that that this is all put behind us, and God, I hope I never have to talk about Joy-Con drift again. We all know that I will, though. Okay, let's do a quick break. We're going to hear from our sponsors, and when we come back, we're going to take a look at a bunch of Mario Maker 2 stuff. So stick around. Well, when Mario Maker 2 first came out, actually, let's go back to Mario Maker 1. When Mario Maker 1 first came out, and I'm doing this from memory because I didn't think to talk about Mario Maker 1 until this moment, you had, I think you could submit 10 courses to the course world. And as you submitted courses and people rated your courses, you would get stars. So if people really liked your course, then you would get like 3 stars or something. And as you collected stars, you could then not really use those stars to cash in to get more course uploads, but basically the more stars you had, the more course uploads you were allowed to do. What did this do? Well, it kind of ensured that the people who make the courses that are the most popular are given more room to grow, to make even better courses. And I think that was a pretty good system. And over time, it just kept increasing, which is great. Now, when Mario Maker 2 launched, you were restricted to 32 courses. And they didn't have anything about whether or not they were going to increase this, but it looks like we are now getting this stuff increased. And they actually doubled the upload limit. And this isn't just for people who are making the most popular courses, it's for everybody. Now, why did Nintendo start with having everybody limited to 32? And I think the reason why is to limit like the terrible levels that people make. Like we've especially streamers and other people who create content. One of the things that I did is I made a test level. You know, I was like, okay, how do I upload this? So then I hit a couple buttons and I uploaded it. You know what I mean? Like, I just wanted to see what it was like, how it worked, so I could talk about it on the show. So I'm not the only person that did that. And we don't want thousands upon thousands upon thousands of these really, really lame linear test levels that are not fun to play, where you just run to the right and you hit the flagpole. You know what I mean? So by limiting the number of levels that you can upload, Nintendo said, hey, maybe you don't want to upload that test level. Maybe you want to wait and make a better level and upload that, because you only get so many slots. And I think that makes a lot of sense. However, as the game's been out for, I don't know, long enough so that we have over 2 million levels already, as the game has been out for a while now, people are hitting that limit. And that means even the best creators, they get to that limit and they look and they're like, well, what am I supposed to do now? I got to go delete all of my other levels in order to make this new level? That sucks. That's not awesome. So Nintendo doubled the limit, and now it's up to 64, which is very good. So is this the last time that excuse me, is this the last time that we'll have this happen? I don't think so. I'm sure that it'll keep going up, and we'll keep getting more as time goes on. Why does Nintendo keep a limit at all? I mean, once you get to 64 levels, why don't they just say everybody can have unlimited uploads? I'm not sure. I get the feeling that it has something to do with somebody who's far more creative than I will find a way to make Mario levels automatically and just spam the system. Just nonstop. Here's another level. Here's another level. Here's another level. In an effort to break the system, because some Mensa just want to watch the world burn. So I can see why they have an upload limit, and having it at 64 seems pretty good. I hope that someday we're at 128 and then 512, and of course we gotta keep going up by those I can't even remember what the hell it is. The megabytes, they go up by 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, that kind of thing. So it's going to keep going up over time, and I think that's pretty good. My iPad started responding to me. I don't know what it thought that I said that sounded like the keyword, but I'm not going to repeat it. We also got this tweet from, speaking of Mario Maker 2. I love it when other companies do this. I think I've reported on a couple of these before. If not, I've at least dropped it in our Discord channel, where video game developers have used Mario Maker 2 in order to make like something cool that's themed around there. Or I just love where video game developers are using Mario Maker 2 to make awesome levels, which is really, really cool. FDG Entertainment posted this tweet the other day. They said, "We made a Monster Boy level for Mario Maker 2. Please check it out." And if you go to the show notes, this is episode 372 at runjumpstomp.com, you'll find a link in the show notes that takes you to the post that they have. I just think it's really cool when they do when other developers use Mario Maker to make something really, really cool. Fisto in chat says that Arbys Dion07 says that Arbys did one, and Fisto in chat is saying that they really liked the Arbys one. Dion is also saying that Wendy's did one as well, which is that's so weird. I know Arbys has been really all over this social media stuff where they like arrange things so that they look like some theme from a video game or something. And I think that that's pretty clever, and I love the idea. I'm gonna have to check out the Arbys and Wendys Mario Maker 2 levels. That's a game I have not played in about. Actually, I haven't played it at all since shoot, I can't think of the name of the damn game. Dragon Quest Builders 2 came out. Just because I've been busy playing that, and then I started playing Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, and I haven't gotten back to Super Mario Maker 2, but it's definitely, it's a game that's going to be one of my top played ever as time goes on, because you can always go back and have a quick Mario session, because it's just incredibly fun. Okay, so we got a bunch of feedback from people, which is great. I always love feedback. I got an email from Johnny Link talking about the Hori D-pad Joy-Con, and he even sent in a picture of course, his dog, which looks adorable, and I want to pet it. And then you can see that he's got a red Hori D-pad on the left, and then his regular green joystick, I'm sorry, Joy-Con on the right. And there was a whole bunch of stuff that he said about it. I'm not going to read the whole thing, but he did include a TLDR. By the way, if you're going to send me an email, runjumpstomp@gmail.com, and if you do send that and it is a lengthy email, give me a TLDR so I can easily bring it on the show as well, because if it's super long, I'm not going to include it on the show. It's just too much. But Johnny Link sent in a TLDR. He said, if you want a real D-pad for the Switch and you play in handheld mode often, buy this. Do not buy one as your main Joy-Con. Swap it out when needed. It looks cool, feels really good. It's cheap and well worth the price. I'm not a reviewer or an important person, just someone who loves video games. Johnny Link, I gotta say, I've met a lot of people in my day, and never in my life have I met somebody who was not an important person. So that is nonsense. You are important. And he goes on to say, I attached a picture of the Hori Joy-Con on my Switch, and also a dog. I think it goes really well with the green. Also, thank you and your awesome wife for the drawstring bag. If you are confused as to what the hell he's talking about, my wife has an Etsy shop, etsy.com/shop/runjumpstomp. And if you go there, she has a bunch of video game related fabric stuff that she sews. And every once in a while, she makes a drawstring bag, and they are one of a kind. And you can't get, there's only one. She makes one, and whoever buys it first is the one that has it. She's made like 3 or 4 of them, and they sell like instantaneously, which is always fun. And he bought one of them. So back to the email. He says, I just got it today, and it's so damn cool. Looks like it's great quality too. I love the little pocket on the inside. Always got to have one of those. Thank you. Love your work. Well, thank you very much, Johnny Link. You are awesome, sir, and I appreciate it. We got a oh, by the way, those Joy-Con with the D-pad is like $15, so I may even pull the trigger on it just so that I can check it out myself, because that's really cheap, and then I can talk about it on the show. All right, I got a tweet from Travis McGuire. They said, at Run Jump Stomp, I'm stuck on a purchase decision. You highly recommend Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3, largely in part to the online multiplayer. Do you think that's because you played with Dasme specifically, a friend, or could we get the same satisfaction playing with randos? Hashtag no friends, hashtag Nintendo SwitchCraft. All right, Travis McGuire, here's my answer to that. First off, if you are looking for people to play the game with, you have to join the Discord. We've got like 500 people in the Discord server, and like I'm constantly... A lot of time, the thing I love most about the Discord server is there's constantly chatter in there, even when I'm not a part of it, because I can't always participate in the conversation. But I'm always reading through and seeing what everybody's saying. And I know that there are people in the community that play together on a regular basis. So make sure that you join our Discord server over at runjumpstomp.com/Discord. And then you've got friends to play with. However, let's say that you are averse to that and you don't want to join the Discord server. Or you just want to play with random people. I would say Marvel Ultimate Alliance 3 is very, very fun. Playing with randoms is not going to be anywhere near as fun as playing with friends. So I don't know that I would, if the online multiplayer is something that sounds cool, but you're just going to play with randoms, I don't think I would recommend it as much. That being said, I would probably say the same thing about just about every game that features online multiplayer. If I'm looking at a game for online multiplayer, I don't care about playing with randos. I always want to play with friends. So I don't know. I can't recommend any game that plays with randoms as, you know, as the way that you want to play. It's always better to play with friends. So That's my answer to you, I guess. It's kind of a bad answer, but maybe don't buy it then. Maybe buy something single player. I think maybe you'd enjoy that more. Leonard Strauss tweeted at me. They said, at Run Jump Stomp, scoffed at the rewind feature of Nintendo Switch Online, but it's the only reason Wart just croaked. Hashtag NES, blah, 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 blah. That bunch of hashtags. Hashtag Nintendo SwitchCraft. Thank you for that. So that's a great point. And I'm curious what you guys think about this. Using save states or rewind feature, does that count as finishing the game? And I say yes. I'm an old man. I do not have time to redo levels when I've gotten all the way up to the very end and died. And there's going to be people who think, well, that's lame, Bill. You're lame for beating the game that way. But guess what? As an old man, I have the unique ability to not really care what you think about how I finished a game. So I'm going to say for Leonard Strauss, good for you, man. You finished a game, and that's awesome. And if the rewind feature made it so that you ended up enjoying that game more, then that's even better. To be fair, I think the rewind feature is a great feature. I just would rather get Super Nintendo games. And by the way, Super Mario Brothers 2 is a fantastic game. And if you haven't finished it yet, you absolutely should. So anybody out there who's listening who has Nintendo Switch Online, you have this game and it's fantastic. And now that you've got the rewind feature, there's no reason to worry about it. Speaking of rewind features, next week, in 2 days, I think, Fire Emblem Three Houses is coming out. And that game has a rewind feature as well. So if you've never played Fire Emblem games before, they have permadeath. So you've got an army of people. One of your soldiers dies that has been with you since the beginning of the game, and one of two things will happen. A, you will continue to play. That character is now dead, and you will never be able to use them again. Or B, you start the match over from the beginning, and you quit out, open up your last save, and try again. And oftentimes in previous Fire Emblem games, you'll be in a match for like 30 minutes, maybe more, trying to figure out how to best get through and accomplish your mission goals. And redoing a 30-minute mission because a character that you have had since the beginning of the game dies, that's a big ask for somebody who doesn't have a lot of time to play games. I'm talking about me. I don't have tons of time to play games. So when I do play games, I want to use that time to my best ability. And the developers of Fire Emblem, they looked at this and they said, you know what? We're going to give them the ability to rewind, back as far as they want in a mission. It is a resource that you have to spend. You can unlock this through various ways in the game. I don't know how yet. I just hope it's not microtransactions, because that would be terrible. That'd be like punishing people who are bad at the game. But I'm going to use this feature. And I know that there's a lot of people, like the Fire Emblem hardcore people out there, who are like, the game shouldn't include this. This is bad. Listen, just don't use the feature. If you don't use the feature, then the Fire Emblem game is going to be the same way that it's always been for you. It's going to be a turn-based tactical game with permadeath and really high difficulty. And if that's what you're looking for, just don't use the feature. But don't deride everybody who uses the feature to get the most enjoyment out of their game purchase in the way that they want. Anyway, that's just how I feel about it. I do think that rewind features are great, and I may have scoffed at it, Leonard, because I just want SNES games, and that's really the only reason. All right, let's wrap up the show.
Super Mario 1, 2, and 3. There's power in numbers. Nintendo. Now you're playing with power. Each game sold separately.
Become a part of the community over at runjumpstomp.com/discord. You can watch the show live at twitch.tv/runjumpstomp. You can get a hold of me through email, runjumpstomp@gmail.com, or use the hashtag Nintendo SwitchCraft. I am at runjumpstomp on Twitter. If you are looking for ways to support the show, you can head on over to runjumpstomp.com/thankyou. The aforementioned Etsy shop is linked there as well. And for more content like this, check out runjumpstomp.com/shows. The music you're hearing right now is Cronaria Star Fox remix by Noteblock. Thank you guys for hanging out with me while I record the show. Live chat. You guys are awesome. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.